Hi, welcome to AllBrands After Hours with me, your host, Courtney Douthat. Welcome to the show where we hang out and craft together. Today we're going to be doing a No Sew Applique with our Brother ScanNCut. Let's do this. So No Sew Applique is very easy. So what I'm going to do is take some scrap fabric that I had, how cute are these little strawberries, and actually make an applique out of them without having to use an embroidery machine, a sewing machine, or anything like that. So the way that it works is you actually take your fabric and you put a thing called Heat and Bond Ultra. I like Heat and Bond Ultra. There are a few other ones. You could also use Light, but I feel like the Ultra really holds it in there well because there will be no stitches in my sweatshirt. And then, just because I'm a little extra, you don't have to do this, I am going to use this beautiful glitter vinyl to actually create a border around it to seal my edges. Now the Heat and Bond Ultra will seal it in pretty well. This is just an extra precaution. That way when I'm washing it, drying it, there's never gonna be any peeling. So my sweatshirt that I have is actually a gray sweatshirt. It's so bland and I can't have that. I have to have something fun. So I thought these cute little strawberry designs would be really fun on that with Mama written across with the glittery outline of the vinyl. It's perfect, fantastic. Now Courtney, what design are we using? Or is there a special design? You're talking about two other mediums, fabric and vinyl. I do everything in my ScanNCut, and I'll walk you through how I do it. So let's get our design. All right, so we're gonna go to pattern right here, and then we're gonna come to the fonts. Now, you have these fonts right here that you could actually just type out a word if you wanted to. You also have these fonts right here. Now, the difference between them is that these fonts are actually going to bring in one letter at a time. I actually prefer this one just because I want this like athletic font. Tell me in the comments, what do you call it? I call it an athletic font, but I actually really want this because I feel like it would show a lot of my fabric and it would look really cool having that sharp border with the vinyl. Now, if you wanted to do the Greek alphabet, they also have the Greek alphabet in there. So you could do a No Sew Applique with your Greek letters. How neat is that? So I'm gonna come here to select this design and I'm gonna go ahead and just select the M for right now. All right, so I'm gonna enlarge it just a little bit so you guys would see it on camera. This will not be my actual size of my sweatshirt design, but I want you to be able to see it really well on camera. So we have our M right here. She's large and in charge. So I'm gonna go to Edit, Object Edit, and then I'm going to come right here to the Offset button. This is an offset distance, so it can actually tell it, hey, I want you to either go offset inside and cut internally, or I want you to cut on the outside. Now, Courtney, why wouldn't you just bring in two and then resize them to do this? I feel like when it resizes it, it doesn't do it proportionally. If you look, if I offset inwards, now there's a green outer line, do you see it? And then the black inner line. Now, if you see, it really went and offset it internally. How neat is that? Or if we offset larger, this is creating a double cut line. How neat. So it keeps it proportional. I feel like it's just so much better than trying to match up a second M that we brought in doing all that. Offset does it for you and it does it perfectly. So there's nothing, no weird distortion of any kind. So for what we want to do, I would actually offset on the outer because if you notice, those little bitty points of my M stay proportional, where if I was to offset inward, or less inside of there, you see where it's boxing it off like that? I don't like that. I don't want to box it off. I want to be able to have an offset with a point. So I like to offset on the outside. So usually when I'm measuring a design for this kind of thing, I think, okay, what's the smallest that this piece could go? And then I know I'm going to make it a few degrees bigger. So I love doing this. Now, if you noticed, look at that. Now we have that border around there. So I'm going to go a little bit bigger, just for example's sake, like that. Hit OK. And then what I would do is I would actually hit OK, and then I would come to my selection tools. I would select both of them, so everything together, hit OK, Object Edit, and then I'm going to actually put them together like this. So now they're one solid design. Now, Courtney, why did you do that? Because when I cut out my vinyl, I've actually created that little bitty border that can go around it. Now, Courtney, do I cut out my fabric in that inside design? No. Now, why would we not want to do that? Because If I do that, then if I move that vinyl just a little bit and don't quite line it up when I'm heating it down, you're gonna see a little bit of the sweatshirt. I don't want that. I want it to be seamless, like an applique. When it's stitching that applique down, it's going around. You know, sometimes we enlarge whatever we've cut on our ScanNCut, or if you've done it by hand, we enlarge it. Just, you know, we have a border to make sure that needle catches. Same concept. I want to make sure that vinyl covers every single bit of this fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup them just for right now, because I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to unselect them because I want the outer one. There we go. Hit OK. And I am going to actually come to Object Edit, and I am going to duplicate that one. So now I have two. Okay, and you can line it up if you want. Okay, and then I'm going to come and I'm going to shrink it down. Now, since I'm shrinking it down such a small amount, I don't have to do an offset. I could come here and then shrink it down just a little bit. There we go. We just need to make sure that it is not smaller than the outer offset. So now we have that piece like that, and then we have our offset. And again, you could group those together again if you want to. Now for our design, we are going to be doing a much smaller design that fits right there, but I just wanted you to see up close how this works. Now, if you wanted to just have the outside and not shrink it in any, that is totally fine. You could do that. That is up to you. I know I'm not going to place it the best. I don't want to be able to see any of the fabric peeking from behind where the vinyl is. So I'm going to go ahead and hit home. And I am going to go to pattern, back to that design, and I'm going to do it for real this time. But that was just an example so you guys could see up close how you do it. Alrighty, so I know that my width, I want to keep it under probably a 3. Just because we got a lot of words to fit in there. Okay, I'm going to lock it and then raise that height up to a 4. Oop. I always go past so quick. Okay, beautiful. And remember, this is going to be the inside part. So I'm going to hit set. Now, if you wanted to go ahead now and go ahead and hit edit, object edit, and add the second one, you could, so you didn't have to do that later, and just drop it down there real fast. Absolutely fine. So then I'm going to come here. I like to move it away from the edges, and then I'm going to come to offset, and then I'm going to offset bigger. Because remember, if we offset within it, it's going to give us that weird cutoff line. I don't like it. I like to offset on the outside. How good is that? Oh, I love it. Okay, cool. Oh, that's going to look so good. All right, so I'm going to hit OK. And now this one, I can go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. If you want to lay it on top of there just to double check, you totally can. It's up to you. But I'm just going to go a few degrees bigger. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, so now we have the M, and again, we're doing mama, so we would just need to duplicate this and we would be fine. Now I am going to go ahead and hit OK. OK again, hit add, and I'm going to bring in an A. Because again, it's only 2 letters in what we're doing, M and an A, so we could do that. Again, you could do this with a whole word. I just like doing it this way because I want that font. So let's go for our A. Let's do the same thing we did last time. So 3 width. To lock it, 4 height. And this again is just for my measurements for my particular sweatshirt. You can do whatever you feel fits your sweatshirt a little bit better. Okay, hit set. All right, so now we've got the base one. Edit, I'm gonna get that second one real quick. Throw her down there. Okay, now for this one, I think I did an offset by 20, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and keep that uniformed. So that way I have the same amount of distance. There we go. How cool! I love it. Okay, let's hit OK. And then I am going to go ahead, since there's a lot on my mat right now, I am going to go ahead and select just the A part right here. Hit OK. OK again. Object edit, and I'm going to wield that all together to be one item. just so I don't accidentally ungroup that and something crazy happens, it's all together. Now we do need to resize this guy, and usually what I like to do is I'll come to the sizer and I'll look and see what this one was resized to. So this is a 410 right now, 307. So I'm gonna probably do that for the same thing for this one. So 410, 307. So now they're uniform. Hit okay, okay again, okay again. And I do like to save this to my machine because then that way that's fine. It's like, hey, those things are grouped. That's totally fine. But I do like to save it to my machine. That way when I'm cutting things out, if anything was to go wrong and I've done all that calculation and changed all the sizes and wheeled things together, I don't have to worry about it again. It's already done. It's beautiful. Alrighty, so we've got MA, wonderful, beautiful. So what I'm actually going to do, since we did change it, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete these guys out. Because I want to cut my fabric first. I don't know why fabric feels like it needs to come first, and then we can do our vinyl. So these pieces are for our vinyl. So I'm going to delete this. Because remember, we saved it. Don't worry. I know. Alrighty, because now we have these guys, and I am going to go ahead and duplicate those to spell mama. There we go. And we don't have to cut them out in order because we'll be able to place them manually, but we're just going to bring them all here. There we go. Perfect. All right, hit okay. Okay again, and then I'm going to wait on this screen. So we are rocking and rolling through this project. So right here I have my strawberry fabric, and it's nothing special. I haven't treated it with anything. And I have a sheet of the Heat and Bond Ultra, and what I'm going to do is on the wrong side of my fabric, I'm going to take that Heat and Bond Ultra. Now there is a paper side, and then there's a side that's a little gritty. That's the actual product. So we want to be able to put that down on the wrong side of our fabric. And then we want to take an iron and heat it up. Okay. I personally like to do it on the paper side, and then I like to flip it over and do it on the fabric side. It's up to you what you prefer, but we just need to make sure that it's on there. Now, Courtney, are you pre-treating that before you have the ScanNCut cut it out? Absolutely. So if I need to go ahead and do this, I might as well just do both steps at once. Why create more work for myself? So I like to cut my fabric when it's pre-treated like this. Now, you could use the rotary blade or your thin fabric blade. It's up to you. For this, I am using my thin fabric blade. I don't know why. I just have this one in my head as the blade that I use when something's pre-treated. Either of them would work. They would work fantastically. But this is the one I personally use for that. I personally like fabric on a fabric mat because I'm more worried about what my fabric does than what this paper does. Now, Courtney, why is that? Because I might have not ironed it down properly. And you know what? That's user error more than anything else. So I personally like to do a very sticky fabric mat, which is your gold mat or tan, depending on how fancy you feel that day. And then I take my fabric and I lay it down fabric side down. This fabric doesn't really have an up or a down, so I'm just gonna lay it down on here. There we go. Okay, and then I know that I have a little bit of that other letter down at the bottom, so I'm gonna put this down for that. Now, if these letters had been directional, say we had a G or a D or a B or something like that, then we could flip the letters since we are flipping the fabric. My A and my M, they're non-directional, so I'm good. So I'm gonna go ahead and load this into my machine. And we're gonna use one of my personal favorite features, which is being able to scan my mat in to see what's on my mat in color, in person, everything like that. Now, since I did flip it, it is white on the back of it because of that Heat and Bond Ultra, but I'll still be able to see where it is. I just wanna make sure that I threw my letters on there. I want to make sure that that second letter that was at the bottom is where it needs to be cut out properly. And again, if we're using up scraps like this, how fantastic is that to make sure that we, even if we have a small scrap, we can use it. And look, I was right. I need to bring that M down. And she's good. That's all I need to move. Everything else is perfect. Now I know that it looks like it's not up there. That's just how the machine, it leaves that white border around. It's perfectly fine. It's up there. It'll work great. Now, I have the room. I'm gonna move my A over just because I can. And she's done. Perfect. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and we're gonna hit OK. All right, and remember we are using our thin fabric blade. You could use the rotary if you really wanted to, but in my head, my rotary blade I just use for regular fabric every day. This is the one that I've, in my head, have allotted to the ones that have paper backings. Go. All right, everything looks good. Let's hit please select. We want to cut and hit start. There she goes. So she's going to come down, automatically test how deep this material is, and she knows where to cut. Now, Courtney, you didn't tell it that you were doing fabric. You didn't tell it that you were doing fabric with paper backing. You told it nothing. No, it's an auto blade. It's automatically going to detect and do a fantastic job. I don't need to tell it anything additionally. She'll do a great job. Now, while she's cutting out my applique, of course, I want to do our AllBrands behind the scenes membership spotlight. Carol Kern, you are a membership spotlight. Thanks for being a member, Carol. And she's done. All right, so we should be good and get our spatula, come over here and like, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Now this is treated on the back, so it's not like it'll fray as much if it was 100% non-treated fabric. You can cut out your fabric, you know, untreated if you want to, but this one, I knew it was gonna make an applique, so what's the point of that? You see me just pulling at this? Like, it's so good. Like, that's cool. All right, toss that to the side. All right, come get my M down here. I personally like to take the outer parts of my fabric off, just it gets that out of my way, and then I can come over here. I like to take my mat, and I bend just a little bit. We're not bending it. We're just getting our spatula into there, and then we're gonna take our spatula right here, and then we wiggle to get our letters off. There we go. We have our A. Cute, cute. Put her down to the side. Go. Now, the reason that I am being kind of cautious with my letters is that this is a very, very sticky mat. And again, it might have that Heat and Bond Light Ultra on the back of it, but it's still fabric, it's still fiber. So I do want to just be a little careful with it. My other A, oh, so cute. And think, this was just random fabric. If you have your Brother print moto, you could print any kind of fabric you wanted and really customize this. Also, if I really wanted to go and do some LSU fabric. Okay, don't kill me, but I'm in Louisiana. That's our football team, and my son just got into LSU, so woo, anything. Honestly, anytime I can say that, I do. Which is our local university. All right, there's our M. There we go. And that paper is kind of wanting to slide off already, which is fine because I do see that it adhered okay. So if you want to go ahead and throw that paper away, we're done with it. There we go. Oof, I'm sticking to a sticky mat. There we go. All right, we got our last M on there. She's gorgeous. There we go. So we're done with this mat. I don't like to personally do heat transfer vinyl on that. I actually like to do that with the standard mat. I feel like the fabric mat is just kind of like overkill. So I'm gonna grab my standard mat, which is what I personally like to use for heat transfer vinyl. Have my vinyl here. And I do it with the shiny side of the vinyl down because there's actually a clear protective piece that is sitting on top of it, on top of that vinyl that acts as a transfer. Now, I do have the piece just laying down like that. I won't need this whole thing. It's fine if some vinyl hangs on the bottom of your mat. It's up to you. I'm just gonna leave it like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and load it in. Alrighty, so we're done with this, so I actually could just come home because I'm not gonna use that piece to be able to cut out my vinyl. So I'm gonna go to retrieve data from our machine because remember we saved it earlier, we were smart. And I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom because that's where my last saved design is. There it is, hit okay. And then I'm gonna come here, select this guy, edit, and throw him away because I don't need him. Alright, so we're gonna come to Object Edit. We're gonna come to the plus sign right here to create a second one. And we'll do the same thing with our A right here. There you go. How cool is that? Okay, and we can line these up if we wanted to, so. Now, I didn't make sure that my spacing was perfectly correct, so I am gonna have to cut out each one separately, which is totally fine. So I'm actually gonna give them a little bit of wiggle room around each one. There we go. All right, let's hit okay. Okay again. Please select, and this time we want to cut. Well, we cut last time as well. Again, these are non-directional, so Would have to flip them usually because I did flip my vinyl, but since the M and the A, they're the same flipped back and forth, I don't have to. We do want to make sure that we select the wrench icon, scroll down one, and turn half cut on, because half cut is only going to cut through half this vinyl, which is what we want to keep that clear plastic transfer on there. Then you could honestly put a weeding box if you wanted to. Just make sure, there we go, that your items are a little bit away. Mine are a little close. It's just saying, hey, there's not enough room around this letter for me to put a proper weeding box. Oh, it did it around that one. That was the only one that had enough room. Did that one? Oh, these two. These two were too close. It couldn't put a weeding box. So I am going to just go back one and pull this one a little out. So I'm going to stretch them out just because I can. Just well, they'll have enough room to be able to put a nice weeding box around them. There we go. All right, we're gonna hit OK. Please select, and we want to cut. All right, everything looks good. Half cut is on. We can always come to the wrench icon, scroll down one, and turn that weeding box on. So it puts a weeding box around each one of them like that. How awesome. And for today, to cut out this vinyl, I am going to use the light blue vinyl blade. If you do not have this kit, then you could use the black auto blade, will get you through. The vinyl blade just does a little bit better. Now, the vinyl blade does not come with any of the machines. I did see that comment in one of the videos asking, hey Courtney, what machine does this particular blade come with? It doesn't. It only comes separately in a vinyl kit. There are two vinyl kits. There's one that's a Disney and one that is not Disney. Same blade in there. It's just the additional designs differ depending if you get the Disney or the not Disney. All right, let's hit start. All right, there she goes. She's going to come around to be able to do that. Now, while she's doing that, I am going to take my sweatshirt. There we go. And this wool mat. And I'm going to go ahead and put that down because I'm going to start getting an image of where I want to lay my pieces. So the paper backings come off of these letters. All right, and you could just throw that away. I mean, it feels wasteful, but you know, we're done with that. Get our other A, take off that paper backing. And it just wants to pull away already. All right, very, very, very cute. They are kind of curled up right now because of that backing on there, but once I iron them down, they swoop right down. Now, if you want to use a ruler and like mark this off really well and stuff like that, more power to you. I'm not going to. The shirt is for me. Now, I did do shirts like this for my sisters for our beach trip, our family beach trip, and I did all the moms a shirt for each of them, and I did them in beach themes, and it was very, very cute. So you really could kind of sky's the limit of what you like and what you want it to be, because you could pick whatever fabric. Because I feel like there's more options in fabric than there are in vinyls. Like, yes, there are tons of options in vinyl, so you could do this with vinyl as well. But I feel like there's more options with different fabrics, especially if you have a Brother Print Moda, which is Brother's fabric printer. You could print off whatever you wanted to. And then it's kind of the sky's the limit. I love my strawberries. I feel like they're very cute. All right, I felt like that was a bit high, so I think I'm gonna move them down just a little bit. So again, with the Ultra, we could leave it just like this and not do the vinyl around it, and it would hold out great. But I personally like to put the vinyl on it. I think it's just a fun, different thing that I could do with it. So I personally do it, but you could just iron this down, and it would stay on there just fine with the Ultra. All right, so I'm gonna give them a quick little press, real quick, just to hold the placement of it. That way there's no accidental movement. I don't want anything moving on me right now. All right, there we go. Now you see how they instantly lay flat now? So I'm gonna come back around just to make sure the edges are nice on there. All right, there she goes. And I'll be ironing it down more when I put my vinyl down on it. This is just to give me like a general idea. So I could actually pick this up and it's not gonna fall. How stinking cute is that? Oh, I love that. That is so cute, just on its own with nothing else so far. And again, you could go around it and do a stitch if you wanted to, but you don't have to with that Ultra. It's really good. I like it a lot. All right, so we have that. Cute, cute, cute. I'm gonna unload my mat. Oh, I hate that noise. Alrighty, so I'm grabbing my weeding tool right here, and what I like to do is I actually like to start in a corner that I know that there's nothing there, because I can just kind of pull until I get to a design like that. How easy is that? And since we did put the weeding box, look, there's just a box around it. So simple, so I can kind of be a little rough getting all this other stuff away, and I know I'm not going to hurt my design. Oh, this vinyl's so pretty. There we go. Now guys, tell me your favorite vinyls down below, because I am actually looking for a new brand of vinyl to try, because I love trying out new vinyls, and I haven't found one that's like, oof. If you know what that means, like just so good. All right, so we're gonna come to our design. Now that we have our boxes, how cool is that? It just makes it easier, especially if you've got a design that's like really delicate and you just want to make sure that you're being super careful with it, or if you're like me and you're constantly doing your children's class names and there's a bunch of little names all together, a weeding box is just so helpful to be able just to, you know, separate them, know where your brain is, you know, all that good stuff. Okay. Oh, this is the fun part. Okay, it feels wasteful to pull out these parts. It does. It just feels a little wasteful. I love weeding out. Honestly, glitter vinyl is probably my favorite thing to weed out. It's chunky, so it's easy just to like grab onto, where I feel like pressure sensitive vinyl wants to stick to me because it's like a giant sticker. And then so I'm sitting here with a bunch of vinyl stuck to me, trying to get it through, where heat transfer vinyl is just, this glitter, it's just thick, it's easy. Ugh, I love it. Probably my favorite thing to weed out. There's no probably. It is my favorite thing to weed out. That would have been bad. The worst thing is when you heated something down and you forgot to weed something out and you're like, no. So usually what I do is I'll heat it back up to get that glue on the back of there tacky, and then just pull it off, and it usually works okay. But that is the actual worst. And I'm bad. I'll forget the inside of an A, the inside of an E. Ugh, drives me insane. I'm like, Courtney, you had one job. All right, this one. Oh, it's cute. Oh, that's cute. So I'm gonna flip it around your way. I haven't ironed it down. Oh, that's good. Okay, let me flip it y'all's way. It's only fair. It's only fair if I flip it your way. But at least have my placement down. So I'm gonna start with my M. So I'm gonna take all these guys off, put them over here, and I still have these letters. So really, I could keep using these. Even if it doesn't have that clear plastic on there, I could stick it down, you know, and then iron it down. So I'm not throwing these away because I can make something out of that. I'm frugal. Y'all know this about me about this time. All right, so we have our M. Go like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and properly place him down on there, iron him down, go and do my next ones. Right. Now if I was careful when I was doing my letters and everything like that, I could just have one big piece to iron it down, but I actually kind of enjoy doing it this way. Go. Oh, that's like perfect. That's so good. So I'm gonna use just a piece of scrap material, extra ones of those little strawberries, in between my vinyl and the iron. Now, again, I always see people saying, but Courtney, there's brands out there that sell little irons and they say that it's perfectly fine to put that iron on this plastic part of this vinyl. And I'm sure that that would work out just fine, but I always say for long term, I would rather make sure that I'm heating up my iron on my vinyl enough where I know it's sealing it in. So after wash, after wash, after wash, it'll be perfectly fine. So that's what I'm more worried about personally. If you love using those, you keep using that. Nothing wrong with that. I like a heat press, honestly. So I always say if you're going to do a business and you want it long term, nice for your customers, a heat press not only gives you the heat, but it gives you that pressure to seal it in. All right, are we ready? You know what, in this vinyl, I know this vinyl likes to be cold peeled. I know it does. You don't have to tell me, I know. But am I gonna listen? No, I'm not. There we go. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Okay, okay, I'm excited. I was excited before, let's be honest. All right, let's do our A. All right, let me pull it where you guys can see it better. I'm just being stingy, just being able to view it all, but you can't. There we go. All right, we'll grab one of our A's. And again, if my border wasn't so chunky and thick, you'd be able to see the inside of that A. So if you prefer that, just keep that in mind when you're picking out the size that you want, that you just want to leave a little bit to be able to see through, and that's fine. You can do that. I like mine big, okay? All right, so not only am I putting a high heat, I'm also pressing down on this iron to make sure that I'm getting good pressure. And I'll go back over it once I take off that clear part. I go back over it and give it one more good press just to make sure I'm pressing it in there. And think this fabric is not going anywhere. It's in there. Oh, that's nice. That is so nice. And like I said, I like to make sure I come back and just give it one more good press. And honestly, when I take this home, because yes, this is mine, I'm taking it home. I am gonna give it a good press on my heat press. All right, let's do our M. Look how well that's covering. I mean, you can't see. I mean, I will zoom you in close. You cannot see any of that sweatshirt in that letters. And guys, think how easy this is. So no matter what fabric it is, again, you could do your favorite football team. So you could do whatever theme for your child's birthday. So think birthday shirts. This would be cute little strawberry shortcake theme one, but you could do anything. So no matter what the theme was, you would be able to have a custom shirt without sewing, without having to bring out your sewing machine once. You would have a custom shirt that you could have for that party. How fun. Oh, that's so good. All right, I'm gonna seal it down one more time. And this took us no time at all to make. All right, our last little A. So tell me down below, what shirt would you make? What shirt, what colors? Give me ideas. But honestly, this is so fun. And again, you didn't have to put the vinyl around it. It just gives it a little bit of something extra. Now guys, while I'm doing this, I always want to encourage you, if you have not signed up for AllBrands Academy in San Antonio, sign up, because we have so many cool project education that we are doing on that machine. You will be, of course, using some amazing machines, but also hang out with some amazing educators and getting to ask your one-on-one questions and making friends with a bunch of other people who like to do the same thing you do. Oh my goodness! That is so cute! That is so good. Oh my God, I'm like looking up close at it because you cannot see that fabric or that sweatshirt through any of that fabric. Look at that. That is so good. Oh my goodness. I love this. This is now my new favorite sweatshirt. And this was just a sweatshirt I bought just at the store. It's just a sweatshirt, plain sweatshirt. You can get it in any color you want it. So whatever sweatshirt you want color, any fabric color, any vinyl color. If you want to do the glittery vinyl, this is so good. I'm so excited. Oh, I've got ideas. Oh, I could make a lemon one. I love lemons. It doesn't have to just be fruit. I'm just going on a tangent because I'm excited. This came out so well. I love it. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, let me know down below what you would do and if you've had some fun learning something fun and new, a no-sew, no embroidery machine, no sewing machine. So if you only have a cutter and you don't have those, that's fine. You can still make custom amazing things that will last. All right, guys, don't forget that the Brother ScanNCut is on our website, allbrands.com. And when you purchase through us, not only are you supporting this mama, but you're also supporting a family-owned business, and we truly appreciate that. And of course, you help us continue this free education that we do, and I absolutely love making these videos. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me again. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it's the easiest way to let us know that you guys want more of these videos. Y'all have a good night. Bye. she'll do a great job. There she goes. So good. I was way wrong where that was. Thank you for Studio Lights to let me see a little bit better. I like it chunky, okay? It's like peanut butter, okay? Some of us like chunky peanut butter, and that's okay. I don't, that's gross. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I have 4 sons. When I can put glitter on something, I'm gonna put glitter on it. I don't get very many chances. Mama's gonna get glitter on her shirt.